Hello friends, welcome to Lucy's Smart Paws, educational and fun. Today I'm going to read you a wonderful story about dinosaurs. So little explorers, let's explore the dinosaurs. Lift the flaps to explore the dino world, inside and out. Now this is a triceratops. He has horns. Now this is T-Rex. He has 2 fingers, a giant skull, big teeth, sharp claws, and that's his nest, the T-Rex nest. He has a thick tail. And then here we have Pteranodon. He can fly, he has wings. And then it includes over 30 flaps and 2-sided posters. So let's see what the book has to say. Whoa. So here are perfect pets. All baby dinosaurs hatched from eggs, but not every egg looked the same. They came in different shapes and sizes, but they all had hard shells to keep the babies growing safely inside until they hatched. Now that's the dinosaur egg. Look, that's the Diplodocus egg. And then here is the Oviraptor egg. Then we have dinosaur eggs. The biggest eggs were laid by mighty plant eaters like Diplodocus. Their eggs were round and as big as basketball. Oviraptor and other meat eaters mostly laid smaller eggs, oval-shaped eggs. Now what about the nesting? Now Maiasaura laid around 25 eggs in a huge nest made from a round mound of mud. They nested in groups so they could share babysitting duties. Oh wow, that's amazing. So they all had babysitting duties. One could look after the other's egg. Warm nest lining, you see the mud, and then they would lay on that egg. Now oops, one is broken. Cozy blanket. Small dinosaurs probably sat on their eggs to keep them warm like birds. If a big dinosaur tried this, it would have squashed them. So it kept them warm with a blanket of earth and leaves. Now see, here leaves and then they have mud. What is next? The baby dinosaur hatching out of the egg, and that's the mother dinosaur. Then we have good parenting. Who are good parents? Which one of them are good parents? The name Maiasaura means good mother lizard. It got this name because it stayed with its egg and looked after its young until they were big enough to leave the nest. And then we have the Oviraptor here, and then the egg hunter. Oh, Oviraptor means egg hunter. Now that's the egg hunter. The small dinosaur was given its name because its bones were found among eggs. At first, people thought that the dinosaur must have been stealing them. Now let's see what the Oviraptor has to say, and then you can lift up these flaps and see what they can say. Oh, the baby Myosaurus probably took a few weeks to form inside the egg. Its body was tightly curled up inside. And then here we have, who is this? The leaf-munching Apatosaurus. On average gained over 2 tons in weight every year. This one huge pile of leaves. Look at the big dinosaur. And then the growth spurt. Baby dinosaurs looked like their parents but were much smaller. A baby Apatosaurus weighed about the same as an adult goose, but by the time it was fully grown, it weighed more than 6 African elephants. That's really big. Now, here we have the Triassic times. It means dinosaurs first appeared on Earth in the Triassic period, which lasted from around 250 to 200 million years ago. At the beginning of the Triassic period, the world was a very different place. The continents were joined together in one giant landscape called Pangaea, which was surrounded by a vast ocean. So you can see all the continents are joined together and then they are surrounded by the ocean. Now this is cycads. Let's see what it has to say. There were no flowers or grass in the Triassic period like there are today. These kinds of plants did not develop until many millions of years later. Then we have the prehistoric landscape. It was so hot and dry that most of the planet was covered in desert. The plants that grew were strange prehistoric ferns and palm-like trees called cycads. So it was very, very different from today's world. The animals were different, the plants were different, the land was different. So it was millions of years ago. The balancing tail, the scales, Eoraptors. Some Triassic dinosaurs were small and fast. One of the first was the meat eater Eoraptor. It was about the size of a dog and walked on 2 legs. So let's see the Eoraptor. Almost complete Eoraptor skeletons have been found in Argentina. Oh, good. And then here we have the Herrerasaurus. Sharp claws, razor sharp teeth. Let's see what this one has to say. Triassic dinosaurs didn't rule the planet. They were hunted by even bigger prehistoric reptiles. And then next we have Herrerasaurus. This dinosaur was one of the largest predators of its time. It was as long as a car and weighed as much as Nile crocodile. Meat-eating dinosaurs like this one are called carnivores. This one, he has sharp razor teeth, sharp claws. And then inside we have Saurosuchus. Triassic dinosaur didn't rule the planet. So we already did this. And then we have Plateosaurus. Not all Triassic dinosaurs were fierce meat eaters. Some, like Plateosaurus, were huge plant eaters that walked on 2 or 4 legs. Plant-eating dinosaurs are called herbivores. So they have strong eyesight, flexible neck, heavy tail, sturdy back legs. And then we have Liliensternus. These crested dinosaurs were ferocious, fast-moving, very, very dangerous predators. That means they used to hunt. They probably preyed on much slower dinosaurs such as Plateosaurus. Then we have the Jurassic time. Here comes the Jurassic time. The Jurassic period was the age of giants, when huge sauropod dinosaurs ruled the earth. Pangaea started to break up and rain began to fall on Earth's desert. More plants grew, providing food for all sorts of new plant-eating dinosaurs. This period lasted from around 200 to 145 million years ago. Now we have Diplodocus, long neck, very long tail. Then we have Brachiosaurus, giant plant eaters. Sauropods were a group of giant plant-eating dinosaurs, including Diplodocus and Brachiosaurus. Diplodocus had a really long neck and an even longer tail. Its neck was so massive that it couldn't lift it much above its shoulder. So very, very long neck. Let's see what this envelope says about Brachiosaurus. So, pow, take that, girl. Now these would try to come and fight Brachiosaurus, but they were scared of him because he was big. Diplodocus was 85 feet long. That's about the length of two buses. It, it raised its mighty tall high in the air to help balance its long neck, lash out at its enemy if it was attacked. Then what we have about Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus might have been huge, but it was probably a bit dim-witted. Its brain wasn't much bigger than a walnut. People used to think that sauropods had a second brain in their butt, but I don't think that's real. Big appetite. Brachiosaurus used to eat a lot. Brachiosaurus was enormous. It weighed around 22 to 44 tons and a whopping 85 feet long. It used its extended neck like a giraffe to reach for the highest leaf and had to eat around 265 pounds of leaves a day just to survive. So that's a lot of food. And here we have the killer dinosaurs. That's the killing machine. Allosaurus was a deadly killing machine at up to 40 feet in the length. It was far smaller than the massive sauropods, but it would use its sharp teeth and claws to bring a sauropod down. So Allosaurus, as ferocious as T-Rex. Now gastral ribs. Then Allosaurus, like many meat eaters, had a second set of ribs called gastral ribs. Scientists think these may have kept the body rigid and helped Allosaurus breathe. And then we have Archaeopteryx. It is a bird. Shows the link between dinosaur and prehistoric birds. It had feathers and a beak, but it also had claws and teeth like a dinosaur. It was the size of a big pigeon. So see its claws, and it was very, very ferocious. Then we have arm-plated Stegosaurus. Plant-eating Stegosaurus had two rows of bony plates running down its back, a spiked tail which it used for self-defense. Look, and then it has spikes on its tail. So this is for its defense when the other dinosaurs would come and attack them. Then what this one has to say. So blood vessels, and then some experts think that Stegosaurus plates were covered in skin and that the blood vessels beneath help to control body temperature by giving off heat like a radiator. So that's a lot of information about dinosaurs. And then we have Cretaceous times, all shapes and sizes. In the Cretaceous period, the world As we know, it began to take shape. Flowering plants started to appear and continent drifted apart, and then we have the different dinosaurs in different parts of the world. So we have some in North Antarctica, some in Europe, some in Asia, some in South Africa, some in Africa, and then we have India, and then Antarctica, and then Australia. But it usually appears on different continents. And then here we have the different kind of dinosaurs again. This is the protective tail and horns. So these are Triceratops. Triceratops was an enormous beast. It had 3 huge horns on its face and a bony frill around its head. It was an heavy as fully grown African elephant and very bulky despite its fearsome look. It was a plant eater. So you see these horns. It was very, very fearsome, but he wouldn't feed on other dinosaurs. He would eat plants. He was in herbivores. And then finally we have the king of dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's T-Rex, the tyrant king. Tyrannosaurus Rex was one of the most ferocious animals to ever walk the planet. It had razor-sharp claws and teeth like daggers. An adult T-Rex was so heavy that it probably couldn't run far, so it may have lain in wait to ambush its victim. Then what the T-Rex has to say. Oh, small bits of bone found in fossilized T-Rex poop show that it ate other animals. Fossilized poop is called a coprolite. So we will also talk about fossils, but let's finish about the dinosaur first. And then we have the Troodon, the clever dino. Although it was small, Troodon has a surprisingly large brain. This means that it was much smarter than the other dinosaurs. Now the great and small. Here we have our Gentinosaurus, heavyweight. The sauropods were the biggest creature ever to walk the earth. One of the largest is the mighty Argentinosaurus. It weighed between 66 and 100 tons. 10 tons and was between 100 and 110 feet long. And then we have Tyrannosaurus, the great killer, and Gigantosaurus, weighed in at around 9 tons. Both was probably wasn't they were both meat eater. Now here we have the pint-sized predator. These are Microraptor, Compsognathus, the Pentaceratops, bony frill and horn. So these are the small dinosaurs. And then the monster of the deep. Now they weren't dinosaurs, but they were more likely underwater creatures that were more like reptiles. So these are now that Ichthyosaurus, and then we have long and sleek shaped sea reptile, looked like a modern dolphin. Then we have Elamosaurus, and then we have the terrible crocodile, the giant killer sharp teeth mosasaur. So these were likely not dinosaurs, but they were like reptiles. And then we have in how did the dinosaurs disappear? In the skies up above the prehistoric landscape soared the strangest creature of all, the pterosaur. These weren't dinosaurs, they were flying reptiles with wings made from leathery skin, so the big crest. And then we have the glider. the prehistoric birds and the ugly beast and the flying giants. So these were all different kinds, but they were more likely to be mm, dinosaurs with wings, but they were like not very big as the other dinosaurs. Now the death of the dinosaurs. How did they extinct? Now here comes the asteroid hit the Earth and the dinosaur disappeared from our planet about 65 million years ago. However, it wasn't just the dinosaur that had disappeared, the gigantic swimming and flying reptiles also vanished. The great mystery, the death of the dinosaur, is one of the world's greatest mysteries. There are lots of different ideas. Many people think that the asteroid hit the space, from the space hit the Earth, and then dinosaur detectives. Luckily, we know a lot about dinosaur from the fossils. Now, these are the fossils, that is the imprint of the bones of the dinosaur on the stone. How fossils form? Now, first, fossils are formed over many thousands of years. The process begins when a creature dies. The creature's flesh and skin gradually starts to rot, that means decay, but the bones are left behind. The remains are covered by sand or mud. Many years pass and the sand or mud eventually turns to rock. The imprint of the creature is left in the rock. This is called fossil. Now, volcanic eruptions could be another reason because of the dinosaur extinct, because it left a lot of toxic, that is poisonous gas. And who are the survivors? The crocodile, the birds, the lizard, and the prehistoric fern. So these are the only things that survived. I hope you liked the book. That's all for today. We learned a lot about dinosaurs. Make sure to subscribe the channel so you can have many more fun-filled educational videos and learn a lot more about dinosaur and many things around us. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.